Resurrected Bites was originally set up in January 2018, and we wanted to raise awareness about food waste. So we intercept food that's still good quality and safe to use from shops and supermarkets and cafes, and we feed people in pay-as-you-fuel cafes. And we had these in Harrogate and in Knaresborough until the pandemic broke. And the great thing about this model was that everybody could afford to go out for food. So everybody could have a really nutritious meal. We also had a pay-as-you-fuel shop in each cafe so that people could take a bag or possibly even more of food home with them at the end of the cafe. When the pandemic hit, we quickly transitioned to having a home delivery service and closed all of the cafes. And since we started on March the 18th, 2020, we have now fed over 2,200 people in the first 9 weeks. The circumstances that we've heard about when we've talked to people on the phones or that people have seen when they've delivered to their doorsteps and people have just been in tears with relief. Their children have been jumping up and down, just so excited that they've got food finally. We had one couple who told us they'd been eating cat food for several days because they'd run out of food. It's just incredible in 2020 that we still have this level of poverty in our midst, but I'm so grateful that God gave me this vision for Resurrected Bites back in 2017, and I'm so grateful that he did, so that I was able to transition the model that we were using so quickly across to being able to provide a home delivery service, because within 2 days I was able to switch over from what we were doing.
But that's the difference, it's the fresh food aspect, being able to have fresh bread, fresh milk, fresh fruit and veg. It's made a huge difference to our families. We had one family that arrived in Harrogate literally just as lockdown was happening, and when they realised that this was a new family to the area, they brought toys for the children and chocolate. For children when they're settling in to a new area and they've got none of that normal sport network, I think that brought a real spark of joy to those children. And I think as well, one of the things that they also do is they've brought cooked food. So perhaps in with the rest of it, there's a shepherd's pie or chilli or something like that. And one of the families had a Thai green curry arrive, and she said it's her favourite food. And of course she couldn't afford to make that, and it's something that would be a real treat to have. And she said, I just cried when it came. It was just, real joy. They've brought real joy to families at this really difficult time.
The thing about especially Harrogate, I think, is that people always have this rose-tinted view of living in this area and that there isn't any need. And that certainly was the case when we started the food bank. We were doing food collections in Waitrose, and I had conversations with several people telling me that there was absolutely no need for a food bank. And in the first year we fed 1,300 people. So there clearly was a need, and there are so many pockets of deprivation. The Woodfield estate is in the top 20% of deprived areas in the UK, and people just don't realise that need exists. Well, many people don't realise that need exists in our area, but we have. We've fed 2,200 people since we started in the past 9 weeks, and a lot of those people have been in the Harrogate and Knaresborough area. We do also go to Boroughbridge and Ripon, but I would say most of the people that we provide help to are in the Harrogate and Knaresborough area. And so, yes, there definitely needs to be a change in people's perceptions about need in our area.